Hello and welcome to the Savvy Gadgets channel with me, Ven UK, and today we're having a look at Star Citizen 3.6 on the PTU. Okay, so one of the known issues is that when you enter the PTU at the moment, you keep having to redo your character. So I'm just going to simply go accept and save because I don't particularly care what my character looks like. Right, so the PTU is different from live. Normally when I log in I just get the Southland hangar, but I then get to have a look at the other ones, the VFG Industrial, the Revel and York, and the Air Review. Now I will take a look at those at the end of this video just to see what they like and see how big they are, because I've always thought about just having a better hangar, because the Southland's pretty grutty, and I'd like to improve upon that. Now one of them's about 20 quid, but one of them's almost 50 quid. I want to make an informed decision, and being on the PTU gives me that. So I'm going to go to the Stanton system, and last time I tried doing this, I tried having a look at one of the ships. Every ship I spawned got nicked, or it just flew off into the wild blue yonder for no apparent reason. So I'm going to go with Australia, just because I'm hoping everyone in Australia is asleep at the moment and not playing Star Citizen. But okay, let's get in there and let's have a look at a couple of ships and have a look at some of the new mechanics, such as the hover mode and the lore system. Okay, so the Stalker box is still with me. Now, I picked this up a few days ago on a mission, and then the game crashed out, or for some reason I didn't end up completing the delivery mission, but had the box in my hands when I next logged in. I was having a look around the hangars at the time, but I wasn't able to use that footage, but I kept the box in my hands. And then when I respawned back in a couple of days ago, the box was still there, and even though we've gone through a patch cycle, I still have the box. It's still here, it's in my hab, look at it, just sitting there. I'm not going to pick it up because if I look at my Mobiglass and have a look at the contracts, I don't actually have any accepted missions. The mission's gone because I quit out. Now I think in the future I would like to think that, like Elite Dangerous, you get a sort of like a time scale for some of these delivery missions, which in Elite Dangerous you get 24 hours. So you can, if you get distracted for whatever reason, you can walk away and still deliver something, whatever it is, X number of tons of materials to a place. As long as you do it within a 24-hour period, nobody really cares. That's still pretty good service for a delivery system, but in Star Citizen at the moment, if you log out, any missions that you did have just disappear. But apparently you get to keep if you're holding on to the boxes, you get to keep them. And it sort of like makes me wonder whether that's the case of that is now classed as contraband or stolen goods. But speaking of the lore system, if we go back into the Mobiglass, you can now look at the journal there, and you can see the jurisdiction that you're under, and you can also see the crimes that you can commit and their penalties. So you've got sabotage, homicide, resisting arrest, assaulting security personnel, evading arrests, failure to comply, unauthorized computer access, so that would be hacking the comm arrays. And the hacking has a new mechanic around it as well, so that you can buy sort of hack gadgets to actually hack the comm arrays, and there are improving mechanics around that. Harbouring a fugitive, trespassing, operating a stolen vehicle. That brings us to some of the new areas, which are sort of like scrapyards, where you can sell stolen goods, and also sell stolen items. We've got trafficking, a Class A controlled substance, trafficking of stolen property, destruction of a vehicle, so that's part of griefing. trafficking of Class B and trafficking of Class C. Misdemeanors, possession of stolen property, possession of Class A controlled substance, vehicular collision. Once again, that's griefing. Parking violations, so if you park on a platform where you don't have permission to do so, you get that's a bit of a heavy fine, 1,250 UEC, possession of a Class B controlled substance, and then you also get a list of the prohibited goods and Class A controlled substances, Class B controlled substances, and Class Cs. So you get an idea of what is illegal for you to deal in. Felonies are arrestable actions that are considered crimes anywhere within the UAE, but I don't know what that is. So if like the police decide to arrest you because of your criminal rating, what does that actually mean? So do you get put in a room and then you have to be out of the game for a certain amount of time? Who knows? The best guess that has to be fleshed out at a later date. But yeah, so there we go. That's the law system. I'm going to leave that box there. Because one of the other things that's worth mentioning about being on the PTU, of course, is you get to... I'll just show you this. Essentially, if we go back into the mobiGlas, you can see that I've got a massive balance of Alpha UEC. That's over 5 million to play with. So you can play around with armor and weapons and anything that you like. Also allows you to not purchase but rent. Although ship purchases are now in the game, that's another feature of 3.6. There are kiosks in varying places, such as Teachers over in Levski, and we might go and have a look at that, which allow you to purchase ships, and so that's coming. The other nice thing about being in the PTU, of course, is you get all of these different ships to have a look at. Now, one that I am particularly interested in having a go at, which is all currently destroyed, so we'll quickly claim it. File a claim. And that's going to take 16 minutes. Expedite it for nothing. Good, that's only 3 minutes now. But there is quite a lot of ships here to have a look at, and a lot of ships to play with. One of my favourites, the Drake Cutlass Black, which will be an upgrade to the Aegis Avenger Titan when I decide to do it. You also get to play with the one and only at the moment Prospector, the only mining ship, but then you get to try some of these other ships as well. It would be nice if the some of the really big sort of luxury ships were in here as well, like the 890 Jump. That would be really nice. But Hammerhead is in here, I believe. Hornet, Arrow, Vanguard, those the other drop ships. Oh, there we are, the Hammerhead. We might have a look around that as well. There's a few ships that I want to have a look around, and provided I get in there, and the Valkyrie is definitely one I want to have a look at, because it's another ship that I'm interested in getting at a later date. If I was going to save up and get some money together in the game, when they finally finally bring in persistence, then that's the ship that I will probably go for at some point. Because I'm in an org, having a dropship is just useful. It will give me some of the nice sort of security gameplay that I'm kind of interested in doing. But it's not the only dropship, and we might do a segment on dropships as well. But a quick overview: the Prowler, which isn't here, is primarily a troop stealth dropship. The Vanguard Hoplite is once again a troop dropship, but this is why I want the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie can actually have inside it a vehicle of some description, so like a Cyclone, or so you land, the Cyclone drives out, does a quick look around the area, taking out anyone who's decided to turn up while your troops deploy. So you've got like a perimeter security going on. Right, okay, so what else is there? Okay, so delivery missions haven't changed that much, but they're getting much better with some of the missions where they generate a secondary mission for other players to take up. So if you take too long about something, another mission will be spawned. One of the prime examples of that would be Twitch Pacheco's mission, whereas you have to go pick up a specific package of, well, I should imagine it's drugs, and get them back to Twitch or get them back to the landing zone. If you take too long about it, other players can pick up a mission to come and stop you from doing that by destroying the package you're supposed to be picking up. So, things like that. Okay, so delivery missions are delivery missions, service beacons there for combat assistance, or just like it says there. But not all combat, all service beacons are combat based. Some of them are pickups. Mercenary, quite like the idea of doing some mercenary missions, because unfortunately at the moment the FPS AI isn't particularly good. It's really dumb, and they kind of look at you, assess you, at which point you've shot at least 3 of their mates, and then they may actually decide to shoot you. They're not very good, so they're not much of a challenge at the moment. Hopefully they will improve in the not too distant future, and the sort of mercenary missions will become a little bit more sort of involved and a bit more difficult. Maintenance, just removal of some bio waste. Okay, so that's cleaning up a crime scene, bounty hunting. I would really like to get a decent equipped ship for that sort of thing. So, but the Drake Cutlass Black should do that. ECN. An ECN relay and receptor received an emergency signal brought from a ship in distress. Any available ships in the area capable of rendering assistance. That's quite an interesting one. That's only available for 18 minutes then. Okay, well in the meantime, there's some other bits and pieces here that one looks quite interesting. To hunt down Hawk, recover the lost property, so destroy him, pick up his cargo, and then deliver it to Daymar. Okay, so by now, hopefully, my ship that I want to have actually just want to have a look around it. The Anvil Valkyrie, there it is. Let's go and have a nose.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
And then promptly stolen, quite probably, because that seems to have happened a lot. And then it's going to fail, isn't it? No, B7, excellent. That's what I like to see. B7 over there. So one of the other problems that a couple of people have had in recent times is that when they get into the game, their walking speed, and I'll just demonstrate this quickly. As you can see, my walking speed is excruciating. And the way you deal with that, the way that you increase your walking or speed, is you use your mouse wheel and just scroll forward, and then you then have much quicker turnaround. It's not quite as fast running, you can still run faster. We up at B7, be up this way. Hopefully still on the landing pad. It is, look at that. It's massive. Now one of the things about the Valkyrie which was quite interesting is recently there was a petition because it has a vehicle or space for a vehicle, but it didn't have any cargo. They said that kind of didn't make any sense, and I agree with them. There's a lot of room in here, and so, oh look, my legs are broken. My legs have got hurt. That's one of the other bugs that's it's still in there. Oh, that's not very good. I don't want to go prone, I want to use a Medipen. There we go. There we go, fixed. And so that's actually sort of caused by coming up and down the ramps. Now I have that kind of problem in my Titan quite badly actually. And what happens is it breaks your legs to the point where you die and you respawn in the rehab. So this is a troop transporter, and obviously has room for a decent sized vehicle in it, making it a very versatile dropship, which is nice. You've got varying seats here for gunnery seats, because it's a gunner, a dropship. It does need that whole sort of assault side of it. Now getting into the seat. Go on, let me in. You know you want to. I'll just put my head through the canopy then. Oh, there we go. Enter the pilot's seat. Oh, what weapons do you get? Okay, let's get into flight ready mode. What we'll do is we'll head over to Levski, and whilst we're at Levski we will have a look at the ship consoles and see what we can purchase. Now, different ships will be purchasable in different areas, but it'll give us an idea of price. Right, hover mode off, landing gear up. I said landing gear up. Because one of the other things that's been brought into patch 3.6 is it's really not dealing with that very well. So we just turn around. So see. Alright, okay, so are these things? Yes, I know it's Port Olisar, but procedural tech for space stations is being introduced in 3.6, and we will go and have a look at some of those as well on our way to Levski. So far, from what I've seen, they all tend to look like the sort of like space station that Anakin Skywalker blew up in the very first episode of Star Wars, when Anakin was a 8-year-old lad. So if you're familiar with the film, you'll get what I mean when we get there. So let's go and check on those out now, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so here we are. The first one that's just outside Port Olisar, it's outside the system. R&R CRU L1, which is in this little asteroid belt here, a little cluster of bits and pieces, and it's just off Crusader there, which is where Port Olisar is. So, as you can see, where people are making the comparisons from to the Star Wars ship that Anakin blew up, it's that ring, he going on the sides and he blew it up. But this is one of the rest stops, and so that you can land here, have a look around and all that sort of thing. But you can see the procedural tech at work, and you can see these sort of sticky out bits here are going to be a common theme. You can see, and in fact you can actually see little pieces of Port Olisar in there, like these tanks, and some of these bits are very familiar. We'll go and have another look at one whilst we're heading over to Levski to look at Teachers and the kiosks, but you get the idea. Okay, so I just gained a crime stat rating, and if I look at my criminal record, it was because I was failure to comply. Now, I was brought out of hyperspace, and there are a couple of ships there. I'm guessing they were the local law enforcement wanting to check out my cargo loadout and the rest of it, and I just did a runner. So, failure to comply got me a criminal record. So, deep joy. So, where am I? I'm coming up on the next base. I will get there and have a look at it. Okay, so this one looks a lot more familiar. It looks a lot more like Port Olisar. It's nice that the rings are spinning. It didn't look like they were. Let's just drop down a bit. But yeah, look at that. Once again, you can see the similarities to Port Olisar with the rings and the solar panels just there. It's not as big, certainly by any means. I guess we could land here if we really wanted to and have a look around. But we'll go and have a look at the next one on our way to Levski and see what that looks like. Okay, so I finally made it to Levski, and I have to say the new hover mode is bloody awful. It's really difficult to land and come down in one easy move. The older system made it a lot easier. Oh, my health is low once again. Oh, I've died. There we go. Lovely. That's the sort of thing that happens with your broken legs. So now I've made it to Levski. I'm now going to be back at the hub at Port Olisar. Yay! All this way for nothing. Ah, how lovely. Let's see where I end up, because I haven't logged out. Oh, actually, I might be in luck. This doesn't look like Port Olisar. Maybe it's actually done me a favour. No. Actually, no. This looks right. That's actually. I don't have to go through the lift malarkey. Yep, we're in Levski. Thank God. Okay, so we've made it to Levski, and I have to say the new hover mechanic made it extremely difficult to land in one of the holes in the ground. Normally, you just point. With the old system, you'd point your ship in, level it out, and then land it. With this, you have to level it out, get it over the hole, and then sink in. It makes it so much more difficult because the new flight mechanic basically turns your ship into a helicopter, and it works by, instead of throttling forward, you push your nose down to move forward, and then push your nose back to stop. It just makes it so much more difficult to land in a hole like that. That's going to be really difficult. But it'll be a case of mastering it, or maybe they'll add some kind of flight assist. Anyway, I'm in Levski, and as you see, I'm at the lifts to the Grand Barter. Well, the Grand Barter is the market where you buy weapons and sort of clothing, that kind of thing. But Teaches is actually back through here. Here are the consoles to spawn your ships, and Teaches is just back here in the left-hand corner. Now, ship purchasing was added a while ago, but the purchasing kiosk is new. So let's take the elevator to Teaches Ship Shop. I keep wanting to say chip shop, but let's hopefully we won't get broken legs from the lift, because that's been happening a lot. Let's bypass my Anvil Valkyrie, go bye bye, it's getting further away. Because the lifts don't just go up and down, they go in different directions as well. Okay, so here we are at Teacher's Ship Shop. And I'm looking for the kiosk, which is just here. Look, here it is, this is what they look like. So let's go in and have a quick look at some of the prices. So here you can see the Anvil Hornet is 1.5 million. There's a few for a couple of 100,000. Drake Caterpillar 8 million. Look at that. That's one of the freighters. Cutlass Black 1.5 million. And a few for under 100,000. Quite a few for around the 1.5 million. The Grey Cat buggies. Oh, these are quite fun actually, because they're like golf carts. Prospector, it's about 1.5 million, just over. There's Aurora. Now the Auroras are the starting ships, so it's quite interesting that there you go. The LN. The LN is the heavier duty version. I actually upgraded from the ML or the MR version to the LN because it had more armor and shields and that kind of thing. And then I upgraded to my Aegis Avenger Titan. Cyclones, very handy, and the blades. So there's quite a Spirit Blade. That's one of the Vanal weapons. It's very nice. But there's all of the manufacturers here. So It gives you an idea of pricing and tells you where you can go, and that's why I'm here. So, law system. The next thing we'll do is, because I've got a criminal rating, there are now places where, more than one place that you can go to alter your criminal rating. Now originally, if I can get this right, if I can zoom out, because unfortunately it means having to go all the way back to Crusader, and I think it's Daymar, or is it selling? Yeah, there it is. Security post carer. Now, there's been a bug where going to the security post has basically, well, it's basically crashed the game. So hopefully it's a client fix that they've done, and we may go there anyway just to have a look at it. But I think I actually need a key, which I'm going to have to buy, and I probably could buy that in a few places. But I'm going to buy one whilst I'm here in Levski, and I'm going to head over there and see whether we get a game crash. And if we game crash, that's great. If we can hack our security rating down, fine. But we'll check that out. Right, I'll get there, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I've chosen to have a look at the Gladius because it has a revamped UI in it. As you can see, I've never actually seen one in the flesh before. It's a lovely looking. It's a fighter. There's lots of nice big rockets and things on it, and a nice big mounted gun. But let's get in. Okay, and I will let you into a secret. This is the third attempt I've made at trying to get out of the hangar, because this new hover mode, it just messes me up every single time. It's just not working for me at all. I absolutely hate it. Okay, so hopefully that means that, because every time I use the free look up, I then forgot to do it, and then all of a sudden go back out of free look. The next thing I know is I'm looking at the floor and flying into the wall in front of me. Why is it trying to spool? So hopefully that's better. So level it up, and hey, third time's a charm. Now at some point the it swaps out from being in hover mode and into the normal mode that we're used to. Why is it trying to spool? Exactly. That's better. So there's the new HUD. There's quite a lot of information there. So set the speed. It's quite nice and clean. It's quite a nice viewable area here compared to some of the other ships where you've got like your overhead part interfering with your view. Right, well, we need to go. Zoom out from Delamar. Now, I did try going here to have a look at one of the space stations, but it just wasn't playing ball at all. For some reason, it was always constantly blocked. So I might go there now. Although, looking at that, it doesn't look that much different from any of the others that I've seen. So, maybe not worth a visit. Let's go straight to Grimhex, which is near a Crusader. Grimhex. Good question. Where is Grimhex these days? Is it there? Oh, that's where we're going. Oh, that's not. That's the shipping hub. We're not going to the shipping hub. It's selling. Alright, so there's the security post that we want to go to hack down our criminal rating. So that's where we'll be going. So yeah, we need to be in Crusader. It's not selling, is it? Yellow. Oh yeah, there it is. It's over at Yellow, so we want to go there. And now that we've set the route, let's point her in the right direction. Spool her up. constructed. And we'll get there when we get there. When I do, I'll see you there. Okay, so I've arrived at Grimhex. I've just taken the elevators down here, and I'm on sort of like the mid-level of the two or three concourses. There's one above me, one below. Or maybe I'm on the very bottom. There we go. And we come around to the left, and we dive into this shady corner here. Down here, and it's this door just here, I believe. Yeah. And there we go. These are the new hacker keys. Should be a purchase terminal somewhere, isn't it? But these are different prices and different speeds, and some of them are more stealthy than others. So you get what you pay for, really. They're not cropping up. Well, that's someone. That's a hologram of somebody. Gives you missions and things. So the Walesko. What's that one? Ripper. Oh, that's 8,200. That's probably a good one. The Tiger's Claw. What's that one? The Reauthorizer for 8,000. I love the names. And back to the Walesko, which is the cheapest one by the looks of it. What's that one? The Ripper. Right, so we could purchase all three and give them all a go, I suppose. Although I think I'm far more likely to go with the more expensive one, which was the Ripper. Probably that one. It's difficult getting it just lined up, the Ripper. Yeah, so we will. The Ripper. Modified version of the Tiger's Claw crypto key, the Ripper earned its name being able to rip systems apart incredibly fast. While it gains in speed, it also gains in instability. As it draws extra draws on the processor, results in greater error frequency. So it's fast but loose. Let's have a look at the Tiger's Claw then. So I think is that one. Come on. Tiger's Claw, let's see that one. Standard tool in many IT ComSec kits, Blue Triangle's Tiger's Claw is considered a go-to crypto key for good reason. With decent speed and reliability in the hands of a trained operator, it can be used to gain admin-level repair privileges on most systems. Let's buy one of those, that sounds useful. So what about the Walesko? And the Reauthorizer? What does it say about those? Walesko. Instructions for how to build this simple crypto key were first established publicly in 2887 by political activist Aris Walesko, who had hoped that it would lead to greater government transparency. Fail. Okay, so the Reauthorizer. That one. No, that's the Ripper again. Might be that one. The Reauthorizer. This is a way to gain access to a system with a lost or forgotten password. The slow but reliable Reauthorizer crypto is considered an affordable option for people who want to attempt to repair their system themselves. Yeah, we'll have that one as well. Okay, so now that I've actually got a couple of these, I need to equip them, and they go into one of the utility slots. Grenade, utility item, and they go in there. So equip that and save the changes and equip. Right, so now the proof is in the pudding. Whether we need one of these for hacking our security or not is one thing, but we will need something like this if we're going to go and hack the comm arrays. So let's go see if we can approach the terminal at the security outlet station. I might actually buy myself another gun as well while I'm here. I'm expecting this to crash, and there are other places you can do it. They are adding them in, but I've never been there. I'm expecting a fight, so let's go. Okay, so we're on approach to the security outpost. Let's see if we can find the landing pads. Funny enough, we're not going to request permission to land. We're just going to land. Oh, is that one just there? Looks good. It also looks like I'm alone. Okay, not my best landing. Okay, so I've entered the facility. Looks like I might have some company, but I'm just going to go straight in and see if I can hack the terminal. For this, you need to insert your key, which I don't seem to be able to do. Ah, there we go. So, insert. And the crypto key is initiated, and it will take its time to access the system. As you can see, it's a very slow progress bar. Thankfully, I don't think anyone else is in the station. So it looks like we could be in for a little bit of a wait, so I will get back to you as soon as the screen updates. Okay, so I have to press the continue button here. As you can see, security protocol override, user verification required in 41 seconds, so I have to press continue, and it continues the slow progress up, so I'm going to have to keep doing that until it gets to the end. Okay, cool, so there we are, finally we got there, and with a bit of luck, which one says all current Christmas, dismiss charges. Yay, job done. And there you go, that's how you change your security crime stat at the security stations that there will be more of. This has actually taken me quite a lot of attempts to get here for very different reasons, but you can now approach the terminal. It doesn't crash, which is handy, but you do need the new pass keys, the hacker chip modifications to actually hack it, and every time the bar goes up, as you see, you have to say continue. It was quite slow, so maybe the Tiger's Claw isn't the best. It might be best to go for the Ripper, maybe give that a go. But hopefully you found this video fun, interesting and useful. Hit the subscribe button, join us as a subscriber, hit the notifications icon, and keep up to date with our videos. We'll be looking at some of the hangers that you can get and buy in the game. But until then, thanks for watching, and see you in the verse. Bye bye.